Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. It is my pleasure to join you today at the 2022 International Conference on Niobium-based Batteries. Thank you for the invitation, and thank you all for coming out this morning or for connecting online. My name is Eliza. I hold a PhD in International Political Economy of Development from SOAS, University of London, and I have been leading the Embassy of Brazil's energy and mining sector for the past 6 years. I don't think anyone would disagree. The world is going through rather challenging times. When the pandemic hit, the international system was already under strain. The gravity of the climate emergency was clear. We had experienced the 2008 crisis and its consequences. No less importantly, we had begun to witness the hegemonic tensions going globally. The pandemic then accelerated ongoing trends that, for the most part, did not point to more cooperation at the international level. More recently, the conflict in Ukraine has further exacerbated the feeling that geopolitics is gaining ground over globalization. In no way do I mean to over-dramatize the moment, but it would probably not be wise to turn a blind eye to the risks facing the world today. By and large, this is the backdrop which we gather here this morning. If we are to bring Brazil into this broader picture, the country would stand out as one that is far away from the geopolitics hotspots of the world. It will also stand out as a reliable, increasingly sustainable supplier of energy to the world. Allow me to narrow now a bit. Brazil energy policies measure up well against the world's needs and expectations. According to the International Energy Agency, renewable sources of energy meet about 45% of Brazil's primary energy demand, making the country's energy sector one of the least carbon intensive in the world. Indeed, renewable sources of energy account for over 84% of Brazil's domestic electricity generation, while the average on OECD countries is about 28%. Brazil is also a global leader in production and use of biofuels, and at COP26, the government announced a long-term objective to reach net zero emissions by 2050. Brazil is therefore well placed to fulfill its sustainability commitments and to advance the competitiveness of its industry in a way that is more and more aligned with environmental goals. This year's conference is a timely one. The COP26 called for increased investments in decarbonization technologies. However, attaining a sustainable and more resilient future system will require a wide range of clean energy technologies and the promotion of partnerships between academia and the private sector. While governments must provide a stable legal framework for cutting-edge research, it is the productive sector and companies as CBMM, the world leader in supply and technology of niobium, that lead the way and scale up the technologies that are at the horizon. As you are all well aware, the key to real innovation are these links between research centers and the productive sector. The UK is one of the great success stories of the benefits from close relation between research institutions and the private sector. This is one of the main challenges facing Brazil nowadays. Those who produce knowledge are not close enough to those who produce economic and social results. Brazil is the 13th largest producer of research publications globally, and its research output has increased consistently over the last decade. However, this is not reflected in our innovation capacity. We must continue to work towards bridging this gap. There is therefore much we can learn from each other, and the potential seems endless for new and exciting joint initiatives. On this note, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Lucas Brown, UK Consul to Belo Horizonte, who will join us online. Born in Oxford, Lucas graduated in politics and sociology of Latin America in Spanish at the University of Liverpool and completed an MBA at the State University of Pernambuco in Brazil. Before joining the UK government, Lucas worked with supply chain in the automotive sector and led the Department for International Trade and Mining sector in Brazil.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Eliza. My name is Lucas Brown. I am the British Consul here in Belo Horizonte in the state of Minas Gerais. I would like to quickly thank CBMM for the invitation, CEO Ricardo Lima and Rogério Ribas, who I met in January 2020, only a few months after coming into this role, pre-COVID, which feels like such a long time ago now. And last but not least, Jane Evans for her thorough organization. I'm especially excited to be giving opening remarks in this event with CBMM, Ever since I arrived in Minas Gerais, I've been fascinated by this company, which by many here is not referred to as a mining company, but as an innovation company. And I couldn't agree more. Today, CBMM boasts many strategic partnerships with the UK, in academic partnerships, as showcased in today's event at the University of Cambridge, research development and innovation partnerships with UK institutions and F1 teams based in the UK, and, of course, foreign direct investment, investing in pioneering UK companies like Ekion. And this is just to name a few. The list is very long. But the links between the UK and Brazil in niobium have deep roots, all the way from niobium's discovery in 1801 by British analytical chemist Charles Hatchett to Jack Woodhead and William Morrison from the University of Sheffield's 1962 study of industrial scale steel that led to the development of microalloyed steel. The UK and Brazil's connections via niobium is centuries old. But looking to the future, the British government understands the strategic importance of niobium. In the recently published UK Critical Minerals Strategy, niobium is one of the listed minerals, and the UK has one of the most ambitious commitments in the world to electrify its road vehicles. This means that we must collaborate with the producers of next generation batteries, and we want to facilitate UK partnerships with CBMM even further on the exciting but challenging path towards net zero. The fact that the British government has a consulate in Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais, is evidence of our commitment to the state and our intention to collaborate even further with companies like CBMM. I look forward to the discussion and would like to congratulate CBMM for the organisation of what promises to be a fantastic event. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. Ricardo Lima, CEO of CBMM, who, although not able to be here today, pre-recorded his speech. Ricardo Lima holds a bachelor and a master's degree from the Polytechnic School of the University of São Paulo in Brazil. He also holds a postgraduate degree in Industrial Administration from Fundação Carlos Alberto Vasolini and an MBA from Fundação Dom Cabral, with an extension at Kellogg School of Management and at the Advanced Management Program at Harvard Business School. He has experience in metallurgy, steel production, and non-ferrous alloys, having worked at Aços Vilares and at Lima. He also has experience in the cement industry, having served as General Director at Intercement Brazil, as CEO of Loma Negra in Argentina, of Simport in Portugal, and of Intercement Participações in Brazil. He was the Director of the Brazilian Association of Metallurgy and Mining and coordinator of the Long Steel Rolling Training Program.
Dear colleagues and friends, on behalf of CBMM, it's my pleasure to welcome you to King's College, Cambridge, and our 4th International Conference on Niobium-based Batteries, towards a Net-Zero Europa. I'm sorry I can't be with you to mark this occasion, our first in-person conference in Europe since the first incarnation of this event, which was held in Warwick in 2019. I'm also delighted to welcome our guests from around the world who are joining us online. This conference recognizes and celebrates the innovations and technological developments which are advancing the electrification of mobility, services, and industrial and commercial systems. Improvements in battery technology are contributing to the energy mix we need to support the global effort to reduce emissions and transition to a net zero economy. As you will hear from our expert speakers today, niobium technology is enabling huge enhancements in the design and production of more sustainable and safer batteries, with higher power density and faster charging capabilities. We are helping industry leaders overcome the barriers of deploying medium-sized and heavy-duty electric vehicles that deliver goods to consumers and businesses. Our first session focuses on cutting-edge research with contribution from leading academics from 3 continents. We then move to the second session, a showcase of innovation and entrepreneurship, as we learn how companies are commercializing new niobium-enabled technologies. Our final session has a focus on resilience and sustainability, exploring supply chain opportunities, sustainable production, and the circular economy. CBMM is committed to supporting research and innovation. Over the past 50 years, we have built collaborations with academic and industrial centers of excellence around the world. More recent investments in our battery technology development program have resulted in over 40 projects worldwide, including here, UK. We are collaborating with end users, battery manufacturers, research centers, and universities, generating new knowledge to enhance the performance of anodes and cathodes. This commitment to research and innovation is also reflected in CBMM's sponsorship of the annual Charles Hatchett Award. Now, in its 44th year, this prestigious award recognizes excellence and novelty in niobium research and its contribution to social, economic, and environmental impacts. This year's winning paper demonstrates how niobium can contribute to the potential developments of better performing cathode materials in next-generation lithium-ion batteries. We are delighted, therefore, to welcome the lead author of this year's winning paper, Professor Stanley Whittingham, as our keynote speaker. It's a huge honor for us to host Professor Whittingham, who, as most of you know, was awarded the Nobel Prize for Chemistry in 2019 for his groundbreaking work on lithium-ion batteries. Thank you, Professor Whittingham, for joining us here in Cambridge, and congratulations on winning the 2022 Charles Hatchett Award. I would like to conclude by saying how extremely proud we are to host this conference, and on behalf of CBMM, I'd like to express my profound thanks to all our speakers, moderators, and guests.